Hello guys, it's Peter and Adrian. In this video, running around this daily workhorse. From the outside, people would not expect that you built an absolute monster in this car. And you didn't even know it. I told you, you just don't know it yet. You haven't even had time to enjoy it yet because you traveled how many hours?
8 hours.
8 hours. You
Yeah.
came the day before. Adrian heard that I'm coming over to Wisconsin, which was like a, what? Pete coming where? We had a masterclass here, and you've been building this system for a while.
Yeah, almost a year.
Is it when you started it?
Yes. Yeah, started about a spring. Of course, went through a few different iterations of speakers in the front end, different mids and tweeters and mid bass. Definitely had a challenge getting any good mid bass in the doors.
No, let's see. Well, I could definitely tell when you turned up, and it's definitely that, and the door feels heavy, because of course everybody starts there. Let's do the best you can. What did you have in the door before?
I'm calling these doors rock solid.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't, but I know what you mean. You do your best to tame any buzzes, any rattles, because when you say now it's rock solid, was it? When you played it with the speaker,
No,
was it?
no. The panel and especially internal things on the door was definitely vibrating. It was rough.
And you never get that same tight kick bass than what you did later. So when was the time when you decided to do madness?
When I gave up on micro precision 6-inch mid bass in the door. Loved the way they sounded, but it just simply wasn't enough output for me.
You won't feel it as well at times then. It was a combination of the driver and the door itself. I keep telling people that, yes, 95% of the cars have that mid-bass location. So, of course, what else would people do? And you did something pretty drastic. When was the time when you decided to do that? Is it the first time you did something like that, to do IB?
Definitely was. It was after watching a lot of your videos, both YouTube and Patreon.
And you didn't hear any car with that solution before?
No, I didn't.
So you just had to trust me.
I trusted you. I believed in your theory because I believed everything else you were saying. You were the first person I heard that I actually believed everything that you were saying.
Yeah, I keep telling in the videos that no bullshit attitude. That's what we want from installation.
I'm 49. I've been messing with car stereo since I was 16. Actually 15. I take that back. I had a car stereo in my dad's truck before I could even drive. So I've heard a lot of other people talk, and you're the first person that just simply made sense.
And then there are some other goodies here as well. So what was the first iteration of the mid and tweeter installation in this car?
I had a set of Audio Frog GB25s and a set of ScanSpeak 1-inch tweeters, soft dome tweeters.
And what locations did you have for those? Where was the mid-range before and the tweeter?
The ScanSpeak were temporarily in the corner of the pillar, down low, because it was just temporary. The mids were in the factory location, which are underneath of. I did that that grill to mount the.
So you just built onto the top of the factory location there.
Yeah,
it's amazing when you can have a car that already has location there. I know many people are afraid of having mid-range on the dash because they say that the windscreen is going to screw everything up and it's not good to fire the energy into the windscreen. But I don't know how many times I have to tell it to people that that's possibly the best mid-range location in a car when it comes to technicality as well. If people want to have a mind-blowing, focused, well-imaging staging, yes, like everything, it needs tuning to bring it alive. Because without that, we know, what do you really listen to? Is the environment, is the cabin. But then again, you trusted me on that too, and you installed the Steg MSS3 over there. And how is it?
they are amazing. First thing I noticed, compared to, I had some Another iteration was ScanSpeak 10F, which is a lower priced, well-known driver that I was pretty happy with, but it wouldn't get as low as I wanted to blend with the IB mid bass.
Yeah.
And as soon as I moved over to the Steg, it much more lower authority, and without doubt, they sound snappier.
Yeah, definitely. You can send some power to them, and they deal with it. They don't struggle, and I don't think we have had any globally, because I send quite a lot out to the Patreon guys all over the world, and I don't think I have had anybody complaining that they had any issue with them. Nothing.
I was really happy with the overall quality of that driver.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, it's made in China. Many people complain about things like that, but they're great. But it's an Italian brand, but the production is in China.
They're doing a good job with it.
Yeah, at least that driver is definitely something that has been reliable so far.
Wow.
Yeah. We didn't mention that we have the Stereo Integrity TM8 in there. Yes, many people have seen many cars from us using that in the US, suggesting that to people. It's just an amazing value driver. It's not that you wouldn't be able to upgrade it to something a bit more expensive, a bit more fancy, but what do you really gain with it? Not much. As we always learn, location and application matter way more, and getting clean mid bass definitely starts at the installation. You can't fix problems with tuning. Even yesterday, we found problems with the driver's side. That was a bit surprising. Like, Pete, I had no problem with it coming here, and of course, bang, we heard buzzes, and we were, praying. I was hopeful it was just the speaker cable behind the cone, the way the speaker is mounted in and the magnet is facing outside, that it would be just that. And it was, fortunately. We were lucky. Did you have this mid bass installed any other way, or this was the only way you fitted it?
No, I did start with it in the door.
But I mean, in the kicks, was it the same alignment that the magnet was facing out?
Yes, that's the only way I've installed it, and it's really the only way I wanted it. I wasn't willing to accept the magnet protruding into the cabin so near where.
Is it easier to take the grill off on the other side without faffing with the panels and the floor?
It's harder to take the grill off on the other side because of that trim panel that covers the blower motor.
I see. Okay, we are not going to take it off then. We just have to let guys to imagine it, because I know we have to pull trim panels and the floor and things like that up. But you just made a 3D printed grill that's protective enough. You're not going to step on it or kick on it, obviously. And before people worry that if the magnet is facing out and it's exposed to the externals, it's actually not, because you created a 3D printed spacer that you only see a fraction of it because the carpet covers the rest, right?
That's right.
And this way you had just enough depth behind the magnet to make it fit before it would hang out. You didn't even cut such a big hole. You cut roughly around 50% of the cone area. We always say that you need minimum that much for the driver to breathe and function. And we measured it, and response comes alive at 30 hertz. I don't recommend pushing it down that low in a dynamic loud system, but it's there, it's playing it, and it's effortless, and it's clean. That's the most important thing. How was it when you turned it on for the first time?
My initial impression was how efficient it was. I had to turn my gain on the amp way down compared to how it was when it was mounted in the door. Naturally better lower end extension. Getting them further away to maximize path-like distance is always a plus too.
Everything, literally, that there's no downside to it, except gutting the car. Yeah, but I keep telling this to people who worry like, oh, I have a newer car, value is higher, you know, I worry about cutting it now. I'm like, when do you want to cut it? In 5-10 years time, when it's going to cost less? But by then you could have enjoyed your system for years, you know. Enjoy it now, and You will worry about, you know, what you do with that later when you have to potentially sell this car. Although somebody hears a system like this, even if, let's say, if you sold this car with cheaper speakers and just a cheap DSP amp, you know what I mean?
That is how I would sell it. If I would sell it,
And it would still
chances
sound
are
amazing.
I will, with all my builds, I end up taking the speakers out before I do any selling, and I would just leave give this truck to the business, our work.
Yeah, I see.
The crew, landscapers that would love this thing, especially with all the sound editing.
Yeah,
that's
now
happened to
I would really want to see their faces when they will sit in this now and experience what's happening. Get ready for the reactions. That's the best part when you show a system, a really well installed and tuned system to people, and you get their first reactions. People keep telling me, Pete, why can't you record people's reactions? You have to let them enjoy that moment. You can't have a camera in their face. Then, you know, and you can't hide the camera. How can you hide a camera in a car? It's such a small space.
Yeah.
Stick it in their face. No, you can't do that. So Twitter, that was another one that you just had to trust me on, I guess.
Oh, I did. As soon as I got that, I've been blown away by the performance of that thing. I love them. I just absolutely love them.
I had that video, many people complained about many things, and I'm like, well, you know, I didn't bring this project alive with Mundorf to take the word over. We don't want to convince anybody. We just would love to have the chance to show this to people and let them hear it, because the easiest test with any speaker, especially with a tweeter, just grab it, hold it, have another tweeter right next to it. It doesn't even require any installation, because like with mid-range, how can people compare? People have that old recommendation to, grab the mid-range in the tower and then just chuck it in the car and then listen to it. It doesn't work like that. But with a tweeter, you can have it side by side and just listen to it. You haven't done that test, have you?
I didn't need to. Well, I mean, It was a pretty direct in and out comparing it to that ScanSpeak set I had.
Yeah.
But I've heard, I used to have Image Dynamics horns in a previous build. Those are pretty well known for really good staging. They're super efficient, so you can turn the gain on the amp way down. You need a low noise amp though, because they are so efficient. They will amplify noise pretty easily. But
do you feel like you don't have enough output capability with these in this car now?
No way. Way more than I need or want. But the output really isn't what's so special about them. It's how they make the upper end sound, and how they lay the sound stage even with a moderate tune on them. I'm not going to call myself a poor tuner after practicing for a year, but
well, you turned up with a pretty good tune. You know, I told you most shops that we get cars from, they can't deliver a tune like what you did. Your tune had all the speakers pretty well integrated. It wasn't like, you know, they were all over the place. Mid bass was out of phase with the mid, or the sub didn't blend, and you had staging. You had good image, and then the differences that we discussed, and then now you have to get used to what you've received. And probably we haven't even had much time in this car since yesterday night, because we finished late. That's why we're shooting this video early morning. I've never taken a video this early of the day, but we wanted to record this and share it to you guys, because this might be another amazing truck project and good, you know, inspiration for those who want to have something amazing in their dailies. You definitely spend more time in this than...
Oh, sure. Yeah. I drive it to and from work, and of course at work. So I spend a lot of time in it.
It's definitely worth getting every minute in this car. That's when I have clients that, honey, the road is busy, traffic, and then you just pull up in a car park and they just, you know, carry on listening to the system. Because you just want another track.
There's going to be a lot of new nights at home, just relaxing in the garage, in the truck, listening.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for sure. Okay, let's run around, because I want to show people this beautiful thing. what Adrian installed here. So that's the sub bass situation behind the passenger seat. This beautiful One Audio IBN 215 that not many people have ever seen and will ever see, because unfortunately this was only in production for a short time. Scott at One Audio came up with this beauty, but unfortunately the basket cannot be used anywhere globally anymore, so we had to redesign everything. And now he has the IBN 315, which is a monster. I don't know what his plan is yet at this given time to replace this cheaper line, because this wasn't an expensive driver, but it performs amazingly. Many people know I'm a big fan of infinite baffle application for drivers in a car. People freak out when they have never seen anything like this, because they're like, why would you play the bass outside of the car? But in fact, what we do is just we use the good old fundamentals of physics, that in order to create bass, you have to separate front and rear wave. Otherwise, you have cancellation. So why wouldn't we use the car as a box, and we sit inside of the box? That's the whole theory behind infinite baffle. And then this way, one side of the cone, yes, it's playing outside, but in fact what happens that it plays into the cabin and you sit inside of it as if you stuck your head into a box.
Should note that for both the sub and the mid bass, they're not as loud outside as they are inside. It's not,
Yep.
Even though you're opening it to the outside, only a portion of that sound is actually going through that, through those vents.
Yeah, because I keep telling people that, yes, maybe inside of the cabin it's loud, but outside it's infinite space, just like the application is called infinite baffle. Pressurizing a small cabin like this versus the outside airspace, how can you pressurize the outside space with a 15? It's like you go to a live gig, if they had a single 15 like this, even the first row would be like, what, is it all, really? Especially when we cross these low, in this case we had to cross at 60 to find a good integration point with the 8s at the front. For pure SQ we could cross lower too, but when you want a dynamic system, oh yeah, it's definitely fun. You had some challenges here though, because we can see a strut. Where did you bolt the bottom of it? Can we actually see it? I can't. Yeah, you bolted it down somewhere. You found the support, because
there's
some extra.
essentially there's on either, it's a big steel frame that goes along the back wall, and it's got essentially 2 feet on each end of the frame with 2 bolts on it. So this is one of the bolts. The other bolt is probably 3 inches back.
Really?
And there's factory seat for the jump seat. There was a seat bolt mount that's covered by that carpet. So there's 2 factory bolts there, pretty good size, almost 1/2 inch thread size bolts. Wow. So that was my center mount, and then I did another foot on the other side. So that mounts it really solid to the floor of the cab.
But on the top.
But of course, there's nothing on top, so the whole
flex.
frame. I did a 2x2 by 1/4 inch steel frame. Totally overbuilt the frame to make it as solid as I could. Like but even the floor has enough flex that you can bend, flex the top of that frame. So I had the idea to put a brace in, and that makes it so solid.
Changes the game. Yeah.
It really does. And that
was it noticeable on the sound as well? Did you hear the difference in bass performance?
Oh, without doubt. Every time I tightened some things up or got rid of resonances, everything
started to sound tighter, cleaner.
Like it should.
Yeah, like it should. And yesterday we definitely gave a good run for this sub. People will hate me because they will be like, Pete, come on, turn it up. But yeah, what time is it? Like 7:30 in the morning in a quiet neighborhood on a Sunday morning. I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate it. We will have to see you back next year. We are planning something for next April, because you are not that far from the Exponent show that they had 2 weeks ago here in Chicago, and then maybe we could plan to bring you over to that sound quality competition and car audio and home audio event. Otherwise, Yeah, you have a busy life. Where would people ever hear this car, right?
That's right.
Well, you might mention the area where you live. You might find audiophiles. Who knows? You may make new friends.
That's a good point. I'm about an hour north of Detroit.
And I'm sure there are a few people over there who would want to hear something like this, because honestly, I'm now pretty disappointed I don't have a bloody sticker with me. This car deserves it. When it came alive after big struggle. Yeah, probably the title of this project will be the longest ever tune I had on anybody's system, because we had a complete meltdown yesterday with the DSP. I don't know, I wasted what, 5 hours? Probably.
Damn.
Many. I wasted many hours. Hopefully nobody else is going to end up in a situation like I had yesterday, because the current version of Audiotech Fisher software was not happy with the Helix DSP Pro Mark III, and the 5.7 was giving me a headache I never experienced in my life. All the Helix DSPs have always been reliable, predictable, and I could knock out a tune in a freeway plus sub in like an hour, easy. Especially on a build like this, where you get response from speakers without major problems, and then tuning is that easy when the ingredients are great. But here I was just going back and forth, and I'm like, why do things change? And then I don't know, what time was it? 2, 3 o'clock? It started at 11:30-ish, and I'm like, I'm just melting down. And then
I felt so bad for you, Peter.
well, that's the thing, you know, especially when somebody brings such an amazingly built system, and with my tweeters, especially, and I can't deliver a tune. You drove 8 hours, then now you will drive 8 hours back. I traveled across the globe, and then I can't deliver a tune. I'm like, no, we don't give up. And we did not. And we wiped everything. We loaded up an older firmware and software, and then finally things started to work. And it was painful, because we were like, oh, Pete, if you just try to, you know, work on the old preset, but we loaded it in, and by then the file was compromised, and no, I had to wipe everything, start from scratch, and then it worked. And then I pulled it together in an hour. Then we could start listening to it, and I was melting down. I'm like, I don't want to swear on the video, but it was amazing. It was an amazing moment when everything comes alive. It plays as it should. You will have to get used to it, because it's a very different delivery. But I think you got the idea yesterday night, what it's like, what we expect from an accurate system. Yes, now you have all the toys, because we also have to show that you 3D printed a nice phone mount, which USB-C goes into an SMSL, what is it?
PO Pro 100?
Yeah, that takes the signal to the DSP. And then we have a conductor down there, which can control master volume, bass level, rear field attenuation. I have to show that as well. We have rear speakers right here next to your head, and then people would freak out like, oh no, that cannot work. You just have to set it up. Obviously on driver's side, you have to attenuate it and level match it to the other side, which is very different over there. But if it's set up well, when we run it normal, it doesn't screw up the stage. Actually, it gives you more energy on the top of the dash and fills the cabin with more lower mid-range. And it's kind of cool. I like it. I don't know. People have to experience it.
I'm gonna have to give it some time to really experience it.
Plus, we made a preset where the rear field runs differential, so it creates more ambience, more stage width. That's another thing. Many people have never heard differential rear field set up properly. They just don't know what you can do with it. It's not the right thing to do, because we do a trick in the DSP to cancel out the mono information from the recording, and the differential rear field just plays the stereo content. Yes, you have to set it up in a certain way, and then it's just magic. I can't live without it. Not a single customer of mine I built a system for, nobody has ever said that, Pete, that was a mistake, I don't like it. It was the opposite, Pete, I can't live without it. Any system they listen to without differential rear fill, they're just like, yeah, that's just boring. It's not a realistic presentation of the music in the cabin. Because I always say the biggest problem I just struggle with is the fact that the music is recorded in stereo to start with.
Sure.
And like, yeah, well, why is that a problem? Like, yes, you can recreate stage width. You can place instruments between left and right, and then you will get a holographic image in the center from the mono content. And you can establish distance to the sound stage and depth to it. If something was recorded close, it's going to be in your face. If something was recorded with a certain technique further back on the stage, you will be able to tell if that was further back. But what about the space around you? Nothing comes out of the recording. Because natively, it wasn't recorded in Dolby or Atmos. And that's why I'm so excited to see what's going to happen with Atmos in a couple of years, when hopefully we will have a device that's going to decode Atmos multi-channel, and then we can play native information from further back, and that's going to be epic.
Heck yeah.
More speakers. It's not going to be any more difficult to tune once you know how to tune. It's just going to be more speakers to deal with and place more speakers. But you will be able to recreate a church like way more realistically.
That large room ambiance.
Oh yeah, and that's where we do the trick with differential rear fill. And then these days I do some extra crazy stuff that people will be able to experience in some of the cars in UK, and the GTR that we built, some people have seen on YouTube. Yeah, that thing is silly. People won't understand what's happening in that until they hear it and like, what? It's amazing. All right, we could talk forever.
We could.
But we have to wrap up because we are going to a competition. I mean, me, Troy, and the gang. And you have to make a move on the road and go home and enjoy it for many, many hours today, and hopefully for many, many years.
That's right. I'm going to have a great ride home.
What are you going to do now the system is done? What are you going to do? Installation. Oh, you have to build another car. Because did you enjoy the process making it?
Overall, I do, yes. In the past, I've been more frustrated because I didn't completely know all the correct steps to follow. And that's why...
Yeah, you did an amazing job, you know. I haven't mentioned, you built everything in this. Look at that 3D printing nicely all round over on the pod.
Learned so much from you on YouTube and both you and Eddie on Patreon that she really stepped up my install game.
Yeah, you went to town with printing. Everything is printed. The mounting is printed, the grill is printed. All the pieces, but everything is solidly mounted, isolated. I didn't hear much rattles. Well, to the time we heard any rattles, let's face it, bass level in the cabin is stupid. It's... this is the first time I heard a... What is it technically, this cabin called? Short cab?
Standard cab.
Standard cab. So what's a short cab when they say short cab?
You can say short cab also,
Okay. Yeah, it's mega. People will struggle getting this type of bass in this cabin with a box, for sure. But this IB solution, it does everything we want. It doesn't struggle frequency response-wise. It can play up high, but it can also play up stupidly low. And in this small airspace, it's so efficient. I don't think you could ask for more.
I couldn't, and I used to be a bass head. Not an SPL bass head, but
yeah, you want to feel it.
I've always had a loud system, and that would often start with the bass.
Your passengers will freak out because I sat there yesterday too when I was showing this to the guys, and passenger side is like 2-3 times louder. But it's not because of the volume, it's because of the perceived tactile feel. It just gives you such integrated delivery of bass that, it's badass. It was definitely amazing. And it blends well. You don't locate it now because it's mounted rigid, and it integrates to the front beautifully. So I just hope that, guys, you get inspiration from this. You can build something like this. And yeah, the recipe is all out there. Location, application, tuning. Keep saying it. That's what matters. And we didn't even mention, you know, people are like, okay, well, what DSP do you use? What amplifiers do you use? Okay, just quick. We can't show it because it's all hidden behind the carpet, and then we would have to strip everything out. So Helix DSP Pro Mark III, that's the brain for the system, running the freeway, the rear field, and the sub. And then you have the amplifier.
Sound Digital GAN 8-channel on the front end and rear fill. And then a Sound Digital 1600 watt monoblock on the sub.
Yeah, I really couldn't complain. Everything sounded sweet. Many people could say that, oh, get some better amps and then it's going to sound better. Honestly. But what more would I ask for? It wasn't holding us back. I don't feel like the amplifier is not good enough because the top end delivery is beautifully clean. We have shitloads of headroom in the system. Yes, we could cry about, you know, pull hair on the floor noise, but come on, like having a system where the floor noise completely disappears, that's where you have to spend big money. But then you wouldn't be able to fit those amplifiers in this car.
Yeah, I couldn't fit Class A, B.
For the size of it,
And the
honestly,
seats.
it's shockingly good. I may look into trying them because they are small,
Yeah.
very small, and they did well. So everything, spot on.
Thank you, Pete.
Wow, wow. I will post you a sticker. We have to put a sticker on this car. This shit deserves it, honestly. I'm really proud. It made me mad on yesterday. I had my moments as well. It's fucking epic. There you go. I swear. I have to.
Appreciate you saying that so much.
This shit is great. And you didn't be like, really, Pete, it's good? I'm like, man, you have no idea. But I hope you will enjoy it for a long, long, long time. You don't have to faff with anything now. And just have fun with it. So guys, this is it for us. Hopefully you liked it. Feel free to share it. Share the love of sound quality in cars. And check out the Patreon channel. As Adrian mentioned as well, because there's a hell of a lot to learn over there. We've been running it now for, I don't even know, hang on. I started it 220 November. So yeah, 4.5 years. Hundreds of videos, fabrication videos, tutorials, weekly topics that you can learn a lot from. Plus, we have many daily updates where you can see us finding solutions for challenging installation projects that we do. And it's definitely helpful to get inspiration over there because I see so many people now globally, like just stepping up the game. I see 20-year young kids building insane systems. It's so cool. That inspires me too. And that's the future generation, you know. You need people to spread the love. Who's going to do it when we fade out? I don't know. Well, cool. This is it, guys. Feel free to share it, as I mentioned. Feel free to comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.